In recent years, buying a car is no longer a luxury, but a necessity. Are you looking at buying a car in the UK and you're not sure what options are available for you? In this video, I'll be taking you through the different options and the different routes you can go through when it comes to buying your car in the UK. And trust me guys, this video is going to save you a lot of pounds and it's going to prevent you from making some costly mistakes when it comes to buying your car in the UK. If you think this video interests you, please keep watching, like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. For some people, either you're single or you're married, buying a car is becoming topmost priority. And this is because of a number of reasons, which could range from bus delay, train cancellation, among others. As a matter of fact, the harsh weather during winter is enough motivation for some people to buy their car. Can you imagine staying in the bus stop for quite a long time and getting a notification that your bus has been delayed by 15 minutes? That feeling is unpalatable. The first option I'm going to talk about is buying outrightly. Now, this implies that you go to the dealership, you check out the car that you want, and then you ask for the price and you pay in cash. Now, this comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. The advantages include that you are able to buy cheap cars, that might be reliable and would serve you for maybe a decade, possibly, if that's what you want. And another advantage is the peace of mind that comes with the fact that you're not in debt. As compared to other form of purchase, when you buy in cash, you don't have to pay anything monthly, maybe just your insurance or your tax, if you like to pay monthly on those. Otherwise, you can still pay those ones outrightly at once. But buying in cash, that means you don't have to worry about paying monthly. You just go there, pay cash, and then drive out your car. As simple as that. And another thing that is an advantage is the fact that they don't have to go into your credit history or check that you're creditworthy before they give you the car. Once you have your cash, go there, give them the cash, and you're good to go. Now, the disadvantages of buying outrightly includes the fact that you may not be able to afford your dream car. Now, recently, I went to a Jaguar or Land Rover company to check out a particular car that I've been, eyeing, a particular SUV that I love. And I noticed that the price is £70,000. I'm like, wow, this is quite a lot of money. So in that instance, I can't just, go there and put down £70,000 and drive up the car. So you might not be able to afford that your dream car if you're buying outrightly. And even if you are able to afford it, if you have, for example, you have £70,000 sitting in your bank, I don't think it's financially reasonable to put that sum of money into buying a car. There are other ways you can put those money into use that would generate a lot of income for you, that can build generational wealth. Subsequently, I'll be doing a video on things you need to look out for when you're buying a car in the UK to prevent you from buying a bad car. So if this is something that might interest you, please subscribe and watch out for my video. The second option is the personal contract purchase, known as the PCP. Now, what this implies is that you go to the dealership, you select the car that you want, they're very pricey or not, you select it, and then you go into the agreement with them and you decide the number of term or the number of years you want to pay that amount of money for. Now, the thing is, when you go and do that kind of contract, at the end of the contract, you still have to pay a particular amount of money. All right. So, for example, if the car is £20,000, you can pay monthly, and at the end of your term, maybe it's 3 years, they will tell you what the car is worth, and then you have to pay the balloon payments, to own the car if you want, or you can just return it back to them and pick another car, do another contract depending on what you want. Now, as I said, this personal contract purchase comes with its own disadvantages and advantages. An advantage of PCP is the fact that you can now afford your dream car. Now, if you go to a dealership and they say the car is like £50,000, they will offer you a personal contract purchase, which would allow you to pay a little bit of money every month, and at the end of the term, you return the car, and they will give you the balloon payment, as I said, and if you are willing to pay the balloon sum, you can own the car. Now, with this, you are not the owner of the car, because technically you are paying monthly to use the car, and at the end of the term, you're paying a balloon sum to own it finally. So during this period of payments, you don't technically own the car. Now, another advantage is the fact that you can use that amount, use your money, to do other things that would generate other incomes for you. Now, as I said, the Land Rover that I went to, that I saw the beautiful SUV for £70,000. If that is what you want to buy, you can, put down a little deposit, get into a personal contract purchase, and the amount of money left for you in the bank, maybe you can do a deposit of £5,000. Now you have £65,000 left in your bank. That amount of money, you can maybe put it in stocks and shares, do other forms of investing that would generate income for you. Now, another advantage of PCP is the fact that you can use it to build your credit score. Now, if you pay monthly what you signed with them, there is this belief that you're good with your money and you're not missing any payments, and that would definitely build your credit history. Now, another advantage of PCP is the fact that you pay a lower amount of money. Now, unlike the other forms of financing option, when you do a personal contract purchase, you pay just little sum of money because they know you're not going to own the car. Unlike the other options that you have to pay more than that every month. The PCP is very affordable. You just pay a little token as it starts, and then at the end of the term, you are able to afford the car that you want. Now, the disadvantages of PCP include the mileage restriction. Now, if you're on this contract, you tend to have an agreement with your dealership, the number of miles you're going to do each year. For example, you can go from 6,000 to up to 12,000 or even more, depending on your agreement. So the thing is, the lower your mileage, the lower the amount of money you pay, because they will assume that you're using the car minimally, as compared to if it's higher mileage that you have to go everywhere and pay more money. So, but it's a disadvantage because you tend to have that restriction that you can't go above a particular mileage. Now, you might be asking, what happens if I go above the mileage? Now, you're going to be charged extra if you go above the contract you have with them. If you've signed to do 8,000 miles per year, if you go above 8,000 miles, they will charge you for it. Another disadvantage is the fact that you have to pay a balloon payment to own the car. Now, recently one of my friends wanted to return his Range Rover, or wanted to, he decided to pay a balloon payment, and then he went to the dealership and was told to pay £15,000 at once. Now that put him off because he wasn't ready for that. So it's a disadvantage because you wanted to own this car, or you want to own this car, but because they've told you to pay each sum of amount of money, you are not ready for that. So it is not very feasible for for a lot of people to later own the car when the term comes to an end. The third option is the hire purchase, popularly known as the HP. Now, with this kind of contract, it's kind of similar to the personal contract purchase, just that at the end of the term for the HP, you own the car. Now, for a particular car that you want to buy on hire purchase, they fix the rate or the amount of money that you pay monthly for that car over the period of time. Now, for example, if the car is £20,000, with the interest rate, they would fix the total amount of money over a specific period of time. In that sense, you don't have to pay any balloon payments at the end of the contract. So with PCP, as I said, there are advantages and disadvantages, so as the HP as well. An advantage of the HP, as I said, is the car ownership that you're entitled to outrightly. Once you go there, you sign the contract for hire purchase, from there that it is your car. So at the end of the contract, you can do whatever you like with the car. You can continue to drive it for free. You can maybe resell to get back some money. So whatever you do with the car is your business. Another advantage of hire purchase is the fact that there is no mileage restriction. So if you go into the dealership, tell them you want to buy your car on hire purchase, they won't bother you with any restriction when it comes to mileage. You can go 20,000 miles. I think my first year with my car, I did 12,000 miles. So there is no restriction when it comes to hire purchase. You can go and go above the limits when it comes to mileage. Another good advantage of hire purchase is the flexibility that comes with it. Now, if you have a huge chunk of deposits, it's going to affect the amount of money that you pay monthly. So you can decide to put down a big sum of money, maybe like 5,000 for example, and then the amount of money that you pay every month is going to be reduced, and that means you're going to pay interest on like little sum of money as compared to you paying interest on the whole sum. So it is kind of flexible, and it's one of the good things of hire purchase. Now, so the disadvantages of hire purchase include higher initial cost. So that means that if you maybe want to afford that your dream car on hire purchase, you might want to like put down a lot of money, which may mean that you have to break the bank to drive that your fancy car. So that's one of the disadvantages of hire purchase. And also it is like the most expensive form of car finance option, because the amount of money that you pay every month is kind of the highest as compared to the other form of car finance. So if, for example, you want to buy like a 20,000 car and then you go into the dealership, you tell them you go in with the hire purchase, they spread it over the particular period of time. The whole amount is spread over the period of time, and then you pay back everything, which oftentimes is kind of higher as compared to the personal contract purchase. The fourth option is the personal contract hire, known as the PCH. Now, this is kind of similar to the PCP, just that at the end of the term, you do not have the option to pay a balloon payment and you don't own the car. So just basically, after your term is finished, you go back to the dealership, you return the car because you only hired it for that period of time. So now, this has its own advantages and disadvantages, just like every other form. An advantage of personal contract hire is the lower upfront cost. So personal contract hire is like the cheapest of all the other finance options. So because you are hiring the car, the amount of money that you put down upfront is very low. You can decide to go as low as 1,000 or 500 pounds, and they will give you the car. So they will check your credit history to see if you are credit worthy, because they won't want to give the car to someone that won't be able to pay back the rent fee, kind of technically, over the period of time. So personal contract hire is very flexible in the sense that you can decide at the end of the term that you are done and you want to pick another car. So you can drive your fancy car for maybe a year, 2 years, return it, pick up another car, continue to pay on that contract. Another thing, and another advantage of personal contract hire is the fixed monthly payments that comes with it. So just like the hire purchase that you pay a particular amount of money over the period of time, it's the same with personal contract hire. You pay a fixed amount of money depending on your contract over the period of time that you've set the contract to go for, and then at the end of the contract you return the car. Another advantage of personal contract hire is the hassle-free system that they run, in the sense that when you are hiring a car, all the maintenance, the services that come, or the servicing that come with the car is included in your hire. So normally, if the car is more than 3 years, you tend to like service the car, or you tend to do MOT. So all these things tend to be part of what you've paid for as your personal contract hire. So it's hassle-free. All you have to do is drive back to the dealership, tell them you're on your personal contract hire, and they do everything for you for free. Now, the disadvantages include the fact that you do not own the car. So if you're the kind of person that wants to own the car based on the fact that you don't want to pay anything every month, you want to be debt free, this might not be an option for you, because at the end of the term you don't own the car. So it's either you decide to go on another finance, or you try another PCH to get on the road. So the disadvantage includes ownership, and there is an early termination fee that comes with it. So if you are on personal contract hire and you wake up one day and say, oh, I don't think this is for me, I want to change my mind, by the time you go back to the dealership, they will give you a particular figure that you have to pay. It is what we call the early termination fee. So if you go there, they will give you the fee, and oftentimes it's sometimes outrageous. So that's one of the disadvantages of personal contract hire. And lastly, the last option is getting loans from bank. A lot of people do that. If they like a car and they think they want to pay outrightly, they can go into the bank, see if they have a lower interest rate, get the loan, pay outrightly, and then they pay back the loan to the bank. So a lot of people tend to do it. The disadvantage is that some loans have higher interest rates than the interest rate that the dealership will give you. For example, if you go into a bank, they might give you 10.5% interest rate, while if you had gone to dealership, they might give you even as low as 5.5%, for example. So in the long run, you might end up paying a lot of money of getting the loan from the bank as compared to you going to the dealership. The only advantage of getting a loan from the bank is the flexibility, in the sense that you can extend your loan for as long as possible. You can decide with the bank the term or the number of years you want to pay back your loan. You can tell them, I want to pay for 5 years, 10 years, nobody would own you. As long as you don't default from that payment, you are good to go. Based on what I've said so far, I think you should be able to have enough information to decide on what is best for you based on your financial situation. If you're someone that you fancy being debt-free, you like to put your money somewhere else, maybe to invest it, maybe buying outrightly might be a good option for you. And if you're somebody that, you like the good things of life, you want to drive that fancy car, maybe financing might be something you have to consider. Anyway, if you find this video helpful, please like it, share, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.